Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kukumlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. Is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go and Telesol 4G, Just a Touch. Coming up, Electoral Commission Chairperson debunks assertions that recent reported cases of electoral fraud during last year's referendum on the creation of new regions will continue to play out in successive elections organized by the EC.
We believe that the challenges and opportunities, experiences and lessons from these elections and referenda will adequately prepare us for our parliamentary and presidential elections in December next year.
We'll hear from her as she addresses the 17th International Electoral Affairs Symposium underway in Accra. Search for the 3 kidnapped girls in the Western region intensifies as a team of investigators from the United States of America and UK are set to arrive in the country.
I'm happy the corporate has started talking because according to them, he said they are still alive. So let's take it from there. We shouldn't speculate. We should hold on to what he said.
We have details as a high-level meeting between Gender Minister and the Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana has been scheduled over the matter. And 14 years after it was introduced, how well has Ghana's commercial dispute resolution worked? We explore the successes and challenges with the system.
When the CI 47 came into being, related particular reference to the commercial rule have quickened the processes a bit.
We have more on this. Joy News deferred projects after the judiciary moved to make commercial justice administration faster. In sports,
now the Confederation of African Football has changed the dates for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations to allow players to rest enough after fasting in the Muslim month of Ramadan. The implications we'll be telling you later.
Leadership of Pentecost Church justifies ban on sexually suggestive pre-wedding photos which have sparked controversy on social media, but some have welcomed it.
The pictures is just by about 10% of the whole show. We want to appeal to their hearts because the word of God should be the authority. It should be supreme whatever we do.
We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Details now. Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Jean Mensah, has debunked assertions that recent reported cases of electoral fraud during last year's referendum on the creation of 6 new regions will continue to play out in successive elections organized by the Electoral Commission. Videos showing some electorates and EC officials engaging in electoral irregularities went viral, creating doubts about the credibility of the referendum. But Jean Mensah says the first major electoral exercise under her supervision has taught her many lessons which will help to draw up new strategies to ensure a more credible election going forward. She was speaking at the 17th International Electoral Affairs Symposium organized by the International Center for Parliamentary Affairs here in Accra.
Witnessed a majority of Ghanaians voting yes in favor of the creation of new regions. So now we are currently expanding our activities and structures to these new areas. Again, at the institutional level, we are reflecting on the lessons learned from the recent referendum as we prepare for district-level elections and another referendum in the last quarter of this year. We believe that the challenges and opportunities, experiences and lessons from these elections and referenda will adequately prepare us for our parliamentary and presidential elections in December next year. Distinguished guests, I am mindful of the fact that the tall order I have outlined is nothing new to any of you. For the EMBs gathered here, for the heads of the EMBs gathered here this morning, I'm sure you would say to us, this is the name of the game. Get on with it. And indeed, we are getting on with it. But we look also forward to sharing with you and to learning from your experiences during our side meetings in the coming days.
You have EC Chairperson Jean Mensah speaking at the 17th International Electoral Affairs Symposium. My colleague Kwesi Pakawosing is there for us and joins us on the line. So, Kwesi, what other issues have come up for discussion?
Well, Emefa, let me say that over 30 election management bodies have come together today to share ideas, experiences, and of course their expertise to create an atmosphere of support towards credible and transparent election. And as you mentioned, the chairperson for the Electoral Commission, Madam Jean Mensa, when she was reading her speech, indicated that apart from the fact that it learned lessons regarding, with the referendum, again, there are concerns about the high cost of elections in the country. She made some comparative analysis with Ghana and some African countries and how our election seems to be on seems to be very high in terms of the process. So what she's saying is that in going forward in 2020, one of the things that she wants to do is to reduce the cost of elections in Ghana, because she believes that when the cost is very high, what happens is that it compromises our independence as a people and as the Electoral Commission. So that is one of the things that she would want to do in order to ensure credible, transparent, and fair election going forward into the 2020 election.
You heard my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson at the 17th symposium. That's the International Electoral Affairs Symposium, currently underway here in Accra. Let's stay a while longer on election-related matters, because on Thursday, January 31, 2019, the Electoral Commission is scheduled to hold the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency by-election. The seat became vacant following the death of the NPP Member of Parliament for the constituency, Emmanuel Tremantie Jako, who died in November last year and was buried last Saturday at Odumase Krobo, his hometown. But who are those contesting the seat? The NPP, NDC, Progressive People's Party, as well as the Liberal Party of Ghana, have all put up candidates for the seat. My colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins me in studio with a brief profile of these contestants. Joseph, run us through those expected to partake in the by-election on Thursday.
Let's start with the NPP candidate, Lydia Sarah Manhalson, who won the slot to contest on the NPP ticket with more than 441 votes out of about 600 votes. You know, she has about 5 children with the late Member of Parliament, Emmanuel Tremantie Jako. She's actually the Chief Executive Officer of Lyman's Medical Supplies here in Accra. She's a board member of the Minerals Commission as well. And she's seen as a major stalwart of the NPP. She's an executive member of the Volta Regional Finance Committee of the party. She's also a member of the Ayawaso West Wogon Finance Committee of the party. She's said to have donated the current Greater Accra Regional Office of the party at Pig Farm, and she's also said to be a patron of the Greater Accra Women's Wing of the party. The indication is that she's really supported the party's activities, even beyond what she's done in the pharmaceutical world as well, where she's currently the vice chairperson of the Pharmaceutical Importers and Wholesalers Association of Ghana, and also a member of the Chamber of Pharmacy. She's actually an executive member of that particular group. Now to the NDC's candidate, Delali Kwesi Brimpong. He's popularly called DKB. He's also a pharmacist, we understand, who runs Early Pharmacy. And, you know, he's contested a particular seat before on the ticket of the NDC. In fact, in 2012, he managed to get about 22,500 votes as compared to the former MP, Tremantie Jako, who got about 32,000 votes. A difference of something in the region of 10,000, which is the gap he needs to work on to bridge if he is to capture the seat from the NPP. And then there is Clement Bwedi, who is with the Liberal Party of Ghana, who we understand is an entrepreneur, does a lot of philanthropy, has built a number of astroturfs in the constituency for some youth as part of his youth development efforts. And then the final candidate for the race is the PPP, William Dookbo, who used to be with the Convention People's Party and then moved on to the Progressive People's Party. This will be his second attempt at trying to get hold of the seats. Those are the 4 candidates.
Well, so ahead of the election, the area has received some facelifts in terms of projects. Some of the residents have received this with some mixed reactions. They've been interacting with Joy News.
I really think that this shouldn't be a platform for you to be fixing roads and then to be doing stuff, because we are Ghanaians. We've been taken for granted for a whole long. So really, elections shouldn't be the time that you should see developmental projects and all that going on. I'm going to partake in the election though, but I'm not going to be swayed because of the road. I'm not going to be swayed. We are tired of being taken for granted.
I thought they started fixing our light system and our roads. I thought because of the election, without that they are not ready to fix those kind of things for us. So I don't think it's right. If they have something to do, it should start before the election. It shouldn't be because of election time we started fixing our light and our roads. I don't think it's fair. So that is what I think. They should give us proper reason why we should vote for them.
So, Harry, do you also share in Nana Kwame's argument that it's a way to buy your vote?
To me, no, it's no. Because last year, before the demise of Honorable Chairman Tin, we had a town hall meeting over here. He promised the constituency that this year, Jolena Belengpe is going to have a massive development, but the road and the street light.
You heard there some residents of Ayawaso West Wogon interacting with my colleague Matilda Vermega. Now let's turn our attention to finding our girls, because it appears the campaign by the public to ensure the return of the kidnapped Takoradi girls is yielding some results, as police say they have made significant headway in their quest to track the 3 kidnapped girls in the Western region. We also know that a team of investigators from the United States of America and the United Kingdom are expected to arrive in the country to assist the Ghana police in search of the 3 girls. All of this comes in the wake of mounting calls for the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service to prioritize investigations into the kidnapping to ensure speedy rescue of the victims. But listen to the Gender Minister, Cynthia Morrison, who says the Nigerian arrested in connection with the kidnapping is now giving some information which she says will be crucial in finding the girls.
My prayer is that we'll find these young ones. I'm happy the corporate has started talking. That is what I wanted, because I didn't believe in he will not talk. He has to talk, and he's talking. From here, I'm going to see him and then talk to him and see where we can get to.
Others fear that these girls probably might have been dead.
It could be, but we haven't gotten there, because according to them, he said they are still alive. So let's take it from there. We shouldn't speculate. We should hold on to what he said.
She also assured the families of the girls that her outfit was scheduled to meet the Nigerian High Commissioner to see how both countries can work together to find the girls and find a way of preventing such deeds in the future.
The suspect is not from Ghana. He's a Nigerian. There are Ghanaians also living in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. If we start speaking ill about other countries, it can affect the relationship we have with them. But we will not allow foreigners to hurt us in our own country. On Monday, I will be meeting with the Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana. I will tell him about what is happening and ask what he's doing about it, and also how his people can respect our laws. Because when we flout the laws in other countries, they will deal with us. We won't say he is a foreigner, so we will give him a special treatment. I have heard he has started talking now. We will try and get to know the location of our children.
You heard the Gender Minister, Cynthia Morrison. We understand that that high-level meeting between the Gender Minister and the Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana is already ongoing. We'll bring you the outcome of that in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, as we keep up with the campaign to bring back these girls, it appears there's a state of heightened fear leading to false alarms in Takoradi. In the last few weeks, there have been reports of alleged kidnapping which turned out to be false. Listen to one woman narrating how she thought her daughter was almost kidnapped at Kansaurodo in the Western region.
So when I bent in the fish, I had a son, no, I had a blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, I bent to you to me or ye blably. No one sent me our ye a numbers me paper, and to pray and make jury, my bonan day and moon and base fee. You need dance for the all, but I was a blessing. Now,
I was in the room when I heard a voice asking someone to come. I came out only to find out that a gentleman was referring to my daughter. I asked my daughter what the man wanted, and she said the man wanted her to show him where to get phone battery to buy. I walked to the man and held him and accused him of being a kidnapper, but he denied. Just then he took to his heels, but we couldn't find him. If I had not chased him, he would have kidnapped my daughter.
Namasa, into one of better could be so, or fear day of your say, or what's we want to blend and lodge after them, Quanima. Yamas and Nipa Cooper can want your betching. Then Uncle Tinty going to want to or one neighbor to see her. Now I can sort of free her will be our abortion. Tell someone
it's open one chin,
none to election. Some in prayer into a betching.
You hear the residents interacting with my colleague Ina Thalia. Looks like Hosix are becoming a derivative of the fear. Let's speak to correspondent Ina Thalia Kwansa, who has been following up on this. So, Ina, what's the nature of some of these reports that have come up?
Yes, so because of the kidnap scare, a lot of people are just making rumors, going to local media houses, that their children have been kidnapped and all that. But according to DSP Olivia Irabna Adiko, the police PRO, some of these cases are really not what it has been reported. She's here with me, so I think we have to speak to her for her to explain further how these cases have been reported and what really it is. Hello, Mr.
Hello, Mrs. Adiko. So, really, we've been talking about these hoaxes becoming a derivative of the fear because people have been complaining that there's some, you heard the residents that we've been speaking to a while ago saying that it looks like they fear that their children will be kidnapped as well. What's the nature of some of these reports that you've received so far following the kidnapping of these 3 girls?
Yeah, thank you. In the past week, we had 4 cases of alleged kidnapping, which all turned out to be false. The first one happened in Kusimiti, where a 25-year-old lady by name Mamida Kwanoma, the father reported that the lady had left home on 14 January and has since not returned. It was reported that she had been kidnapped. On 26th, she came with the father to the station and said she returned home that morning, to hear that the father had reported her as being kidnapped and that she was not kidnapped. She was having some problems with the parents, and she had up a job in Accra. She just left without informing anybody. The second one also happened in Kojokrom, where a father came to report that their daughter has been kidnapped by someone at Intraban. It also turned out that the girl actually visited the boyfriend. So when they went there, she was with the boyfriend, and she said she went there overnight. According to the father, because she was calling the daughter and she was not picking, he quickly ran to the police station. The last case we have it happened on Friday at Market Circle, where a mother came to make a report that her daughter went to sell water. She came and she couldn't account for the money. She beat the daughter and she ran out of the house, and she has since not returned. And
but fast forward then, Mrs. Adiko, there's a recent case that we heard about in Takwa. Also, it came up that a 17-year-old girl went missing. What's the status of that case? Is it also a hoax?
Yeah, I can confirm that she has been found. The information we are having is that she was not really kidnapped, but I can't give further details on it right now.
We're grateful for your time. You heard there the Western Regional Police PRO, Madam Adiko. Now, in a related development, a victim of the Takrady string of kidnappings is still struggling to recover from the ordeal 5 months after she was found. The 18-year-old senior high school student was abducted in August last year. She was found almost 24 hours later by the roadside with portions of her hair cut for suspected ritual purposes. Nanaya Jima caught up with the mother of this young lady, and here's his report.
I pray just as God helped me find my own, He will do the same for them. I pray they are dropped somewhere so they can go pick them up. May they not be harmed. Some money will go into their care when they are found, but the parents must be resolute.
Mama Akos, not her real name, says a prayer for parents of kidnapped girls in Takrady. Her own daughter, we call Amma in this report, disappeared on the 17th of August in Ghana's Oil City, but found the next day. The 18-year-old was abducted at TTR Master's flat on the 7th August 2018, 10 days before Priscilla Bentun. One of the missing 3 was kidnapped. Mama Akos has not been herself ever since news about the missing girls broke. Fortunately for her, Amma was found hours afterwards, but not in her right frame of mind.
She told her grandmother she was going to buy a SIM card from a nearby shop. We thought she would return in minutes because she had put some food on the fire. We were shocked she wasn't back even at bedtime. I had gone out to search for her again in the evening after earlier rounds since I couldn't sleep. I found her dumped a few meters from the house. She looked weak. Her neck appeared hurt, could not keep her head firmly up. She looked like an autistic child.
She could hardly speak for days and had to put her ordeal in writing. Mama Akos reenacted her daughter's story.
Red Cross. From what she wrote, unknown men in the taxi cab had asked her where she was going. That was all she could remember. Later, she found herself in a room with a red cloth all over. In there, she saw strange people and creatures, including a 2-headed snake.
The family says it has incurred substantial debt from relatives and friends to enable them to take care of the young lady's medical bills.
Her father and I are pensioners, so it's difficult for us. We have been to several hospitals and churches in Kumasi and Takoradi. Lots of people have supported us financially. It saddens us, but there is hope.
Thank God, Amma is now back to school, but the family still lives in uncertainty of potential relapse since she is yet to fully recover. Nana Ojima reporting.
This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. If you're just joining us, this is what you've missed so far. Search for the kidnapped girls in the Western region intensifies as a team of investigators from the United States of America and United Kingdom are set to arrive in the country to help. Also, currently, the Gender Minister and the Nigerian High Commissioner are in a meeting trying to find out how best to solve the situation. But still to come, leadership of Pentecost Church justifies ban on sexually suggestive pre-wedding photos, which have sparked debate on social media, but some have welcomed it.
The pictures is just by about 10% of the whole show. We want to appeal to their hearts, because the word of God should be the authority. It should be supreme whatever we do.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. And it's time now for sports. Did you say you're a son of the new Yana?
I didn't say that for public consumption. I said that for private in a private conversation.
All right.
So I'm the son of the new Yana in private.
In private, not
but in public. Nobody should know about it.
All right then. So what's in sports?
The dates for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations has been moved by CAF, and the decision is to allow players to rest after them in a Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Now, this year's fast is due to start at the beginning of May until early June. The decision was taken following requests from Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria, who want their players to have time to rest after the 30 days of fasting. So how would this affect the tournament? This was the question I put to Egypt-based journalist Adi El Midani.
Especially more than the national team, because now you can make sure good attendance after the Ramadan and Eid festival, so fans can have time to go to stadiums, because when you are playing football during daytime Ramadan, it is not good for the fans. We don't go to stadiums, and usually if we play football in Ramadan, it is after the fasting time, it is after the sunset, so fans can go to the stadiums, do the prayers before they go. So now you can have good time to attend the match and to make good fan attendance in the competition.
So we'll be looking at this on the Joy Sports track at 1 p.m. with Gary Al Smith and the rest of the team. So the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations now will be played from June 21 to July 19 instead of the June 15 to July 13.
Thank you very much, Ridwan. Now, the joy of bearing a child is one that every parent looks forward to with excitement. After the birth of the child, it is the parent's wish for that infant to develop and function fully, in short, to be healthy. But what happens when that desire never becomes a reality? Well, we'll get to find out in the latest Joy News Hotline documentary, Born Special, produced by Beryl Ernestina Richter, which puts the spotlight on the struggles and challenges faced by families of children living with cerebral palsy.
In Africa, there are many children with cerebral palsy. The numbers are not known for certain, but the World Health Organization estimates that it is likely that every one child in every 300 will have it. Cerebral palsy is caused by abnormal development of the brain or damage to the developing brain that affects a child's ability to control his or her muscles. 55-year-old Comfort Laye lives at Labadi. Comfort is married with 3 children. Her second child, Michael Ablo, has cerebral palsy.
People tag me with all kinds of derogatory names, such as the woman who was giving birth to a snake. Anytime I have an argument with somebody, I am insulted and blamed for my son's condition. Sometimes I get hurt and cry.
The burden of care for children with this kind of disability can sometimes be heavy as carrying the weight of the world.
A friend who used to help me once promised me some beverages for the child. Later, when I went to her house for the food items, she refused to give me. She told me it was because somebody told her that helping children with this condition brings bad luck.
Born Special airs tonight at 8:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Ghana's justice system has generally been described by many as slow, with analysts making regular suggestions for reforms. This forced the judiciary to set up commercial courts in the early 2000s following assessments by the World Bank and Commonwealth Secretariat that was warding off potential investors who fear their disputes could drag. As part of a Joy News project on collaboration with the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, we assess the impact of the commercial courts 14 years after they were set up.
These processes tend to take too long.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu's assessment of Ghana's justice system. It represents the views of many, including persons who have had their cases come up in court. In 2003, Chief Justice Kingsley Acquah embarked on a series of reforms. This was at a time the Commonwealth Secretariat and World Bank had described contract enforcement in Ghana's courts as generally inadequate, a situation that warded off investors. The commercial courts were then set up to deal solely with such matters as a way of addressing the challenge. Ediji Tamaklo is a private legal practitioner.
Time is money, so you want to resolve the dispute early, so that the parties can go back and have their, commercial transaction.
He explains how commercial disputes are different from other cases.
The rules mandate that you go for a pre-trial conference. That pre-trial conference allows the parties to one-on-one look themselves in the face. Because the idea is maybe this commercial transaction, there were once parties, like maybe shareholding.
He argues the reforms have improved the justice system significantly.
From 2004, when the CI 47 came into being, relatively, particular reference to the commercial rules have quickened the processes a bit. So once we look at the rules pertaining in other jurisdictions, we'll pick it up and then we can have some of these things done quickly.
The Judicial Service is expected to continue with its goal of improving the justice administration system that has so far seen ICT play a key role.
Joseph Akablaze reports there. Now, in the gridlock of city traffic, the motorcycle offers a fast and smart alternative to move around, but it's proven to be deadly. Out of the 2,000 people killed on Ghana's roads last year, 600 of them were related to motorbike accidents. Those who survived these accidents were left with shocking wounds. In the following report, Maxwell Agbagba puts the spotlight on how some private and commercial motor riders risk their lives and those of pedestrians by ignoring important road traffic regulations.
Some drivers made screaming various destinations. The early morning traffic has started on the Okponglo stretch of the Accra-Medina Road. Accra's growing population means a lot more cars on our streets. People say necessity is the mother of all inventions. So a lot of Ghanaians have found ingenious ways of avoiding the bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is one of the ways, sitting on a motorbike to your destination. But do you know that a lot of these riders sometimes have to breach road safety regulations just so they can get you to your destination on time? The traffic light has turned red, but not the presence of an MTTD officer at the Okponglo intersection is deterring these motor riders from jumping the red light. I decided to pursue one of the culprits. So how often do you jump the red light?
I do every day. If they catch me, I sort it. If they don't, I'm gone. That's it. If I try give them something small, Moto, it enhances fast movement. Like we are hot on the streets. We don't have time to waste or wait. I need to go make money. I can't wait for 5 or 10 minutes. No, I don't have time.
According to the MTTD, 2,341 people died in road crashes in 2018. About 600 of that number perished in motorcycle-related accidents. Director in charge of Education, Research and Training at the MTTD, Chief Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obin says the 12% increase in motorbike deaths can be attributed to indiscipline by some riders.
Seeing an increasing worrying trend in terms of motorcycle-related crashes.
Now, the Church of Pentecost has sent another strong signal yet to its members that all acts that are considered sexually suggestive among the unmarried will be discouraged. On Saturday, General Secretary of the Church, Apostle Nanaya Okumi, admonished members against engaging in pre-wedding photos which are amorous. This call has sparked heated debate on social media, with some condemning it, whilst others welcome it. Some of you have been speaking to us.
I think it's a laudable idea, because sometimes when these pictures are put in the public domain, it speaks a lot about the individual, as well as cast certain negative image about where you fellowship and all that. So to me, I think it's appropriate. The policy is in place.
Good directive, considering what is going on. Sexual stuff and stuff that involves intimacy should be done privately. It shouldn't be brought out to the general public. And I think it's even an offense according to our law. If it's sexually related, it should be something sacred, inward, and it shouldn't be brought out. Other than that, then we would all stand on the streets, take shower freely, because it's accepted, and that is 21st century.
And it's even in the Bible, it's even a sin for a woman and a man to be together even before marriage. It's just of late, we Christians have taken things for granted, and we have just mixed up things all together. So there's no difference between us and those who doesn't go to church. So it's good.
Some of your views there, and some of you are talking about it on social media. Maps, what are others talking about?
Well, others are talking about hashtag bring back our tardy girls on Twitter, and at Milo_Melo says hashtag bring back our tardy girls. They are ours and not yours. And at Uncle Chase says we will not stop until our girls are found. Can they deploy the military to help protect citizens of Takoradi? And at Dede Mercedes says, so the numerous prophets in Ghana can't tell us where these kidnapped tardy girls are. Hashtag bring back our tardy girls.
And that's it for the midday news. I am Emefa Apau. There's more news when you log on to my joyonline.com. Have a wonderful week.